Hi, my name's Carrie and I work with Opportunity Gardens, and today we're going to do this little video on how to winterize your garden. So if you're watching this video, it's probably because we weren't able to connect with you in person about winterizing your garden, and we just dropped off the supplies. So what are you going to do with the supplies that we dropped off? Well, first of all, let's talk about what we dropped off. We dropped off compost with organic fertilizer in it, which is right here. We probably dropped that off in your driveway or right next to your garden. And we also dropped off straw. So what are you going to do with those two items? So I've got this garden bed right here that's a lot like a lot of our opportunity gardens, and I'll just demonstrate really quick what you'll do. So this garden has some basil that has been pretty damaged by the cold weather we've been having. A lot of the things that you're growing in your garden right now aren't going to live through the winter, so they're in the process of dying off. So you want to pull those plants out of the ground, along with any weeds or anything else that you have that might be dying or undesirable in your garden. If you have any perennials like strawberries, maybe some green onions that you treat as a perennial, leave those in. We're just talking about the things that are about to die over the winter that you're going to take out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this basil, and I also have weeds that are growing from the straw that we put down in this garden. So I'm just going to pull some of that out. I also shake the topsoil and compost off of the roots as best I can, so I don't bring a huge clod of topsoil out with me when I pull it out. So I'm just kind of pulling everything out. It's good practice to do this as soon as possible after the first frost kills everything, because the longer you wait, the kind of harder it gets, because the plants get kind of slimy and it's harder to pull them out. So I'm just going to pull out the weeds now. I'm just trying to pull them off. This bed still has a lot of straw on it, so I'm also kind of pulling up some straw. So I'm not going to do the whole bed because you probably don't want to watch me do the whole bed. So I'm just going to do the first couple feet and then continue on. But when you're winterizing your own garden, you want to pull everything out. So continue pulling everything out by the roots, shaking off the dirt so that you don't have a huge clod of dirt. Pull out the weeds, shake the roots off of the weeds again. And then you have a pretty blank slate in your garden bed. Pretend that I pulled the whole garden bed. I think you get the picture. So after you pull everything out of your garden that isn't going to live over the winter time, now you're going to add your compost that we dropped off. So I'm going to go over here with my shovel and bring the compost over. So you want to use as much compost as we brought you. So just use all of the compost that we dropped off for you and rake it evenly over your garden bed or your garden beds. Depending on your personal situation, you might have more than one. Okay, so now that I topped off my garden with new compost that has organic fertilizer added to it, I'm going to rake it out. Right now I'm doing it with my hand, but you can do it with a rake or you can do it with a hoe, whatever works better for you. And this kind of addition of compost and organic fertilizer just will recharge your garden next spring. It takes a little while to kind of work into the soil, so that's why we like to do it in the fall. So it has all winter to kind of like do its good things. Okay, so now we've got the compost added. The fertilizer within the compost is also added because it comes together. And now we're going to add the fresh straw over the garden bed. Now the straw is really important because the compost and the topsoil in your raised bed is pretty delicate. It does not love the extreme cold weather that we get in the winter time, the really cold winds, the really, the ice, the rain, the snow. It doesn't really love that. So the straw kind of acts as like a nice blanket for your raised bed. So you want to put the straw pretty thickly down. You don't want to see any of the topsoil or any of the compost through the straw. You want it to be a nice thick mat of straw. So we're talking, you probably want the straw about this thick, which is about 3 or 4 inches thick, all over your entire garden bed. So just like that, voila. So I just did this one corner, but as you can see, you'd want to do it for your whole garden bed, and the final product would be a bare garden bed with a nice thick layer of mulch, straw mulch over it. Thanks for watching. If you have any further questions about how to winterize your garden, please text me, and I'd love to come out to see your garden and troubleshoot any questions you might still have. Thanks. Bye.